Hi, Taurus. Welcome to your quantum entanglement reading with me, Jocelyn, the Quantum Queen. So, Taurus, let me get through my normal intro. Feel free to fast forward if you guys are sick of hearing this. This is for Taurus, Sun, Moon, or Rising. As always, welcome to my cross watchers. Cross watcher, you could be dealing with a Taurus, and the message could actually be for you. So, feel free to take the message however it resonates with you and your situation. Keep in mind that these are timeless readings. So whenever you come across the message is probably when you are meant to hear it. And if you guys are interested, if you go to my playlist, I have a whole playlist that is just dedicated to your sign. So you can go ahead and browse through and see if anything pops out to you, because they are timeless readings and there's probably a lot of good information in there. So if you guys would like to book a personal reading with me, you can find my information down below in the description box. And just wanted to say thank you for liking, subscribing, and thank you for all the good karma donations. I appreciate that so much. So, I think I just had a flipper. Yeah. Oh, dear. All right, my lovely Tauruses. Are you ready? Okay, that is crazy. This is so weird when this happens. Gemini just got this, okay? But you got a couple more cards, which I am going to go ahead and go with. So Taurus, there's a couple of things here, because we've got, starting out, the King of Swords. I'm going to start with this one. I feel like you guys might be starting to, if you haven't already, this is about putting boundaries up, right? The King of Swords, that's that, like, it's being detached in your emotions. And I think for some of you, maybe what's happening is you still are really emotionally pulled to someone in your life. Like I said, it could be an air sign, an Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. It doesn't have to be, though. It's someone, and don't get caught up by the gender. This could be male or female, but it's someone that is very detached in their emotions, right? Because the shadow side, they can be quite cold and manipulative. Get ready for this, Taurus. What I think is happening is you have someone that could be trying to come in and like throw you off balance. And I'm going to tell you guys, like, this is so small, and this has felt like a similar type of energy that I've been getting on from anyone. So yeah, if you guys jump over to another sign, you might hear something similar to this, because this has felt pretty general across the board. So what I think is happening is you have someone in your life that you see as very magical. Oh, this is fascinating. Get ready for this. What's happening, Gem? Or I'm sorry, see, Gem. And it's funny, you could have a connection to a Gemini somewhere in their sun, moon, or rising. But let me tell you this. There's someone in your life that you watch them and they like merge their identities. Like, it does feel a little bit shape-shiftery to me, okay? I'm saying that because of the Magician card, and that's what's popping out to me, because, right, this other side can be trickery, self-doubt, deceptive, stagnant, insecurities. I think there's someone in your life, Taurus, where they're very insecure of themselves, and what they do is they go around to different environments and they start just like naturally mirroring people around them. Now, I want to say that people do this naturally anyway. Most humans have some type of shape-shifting and things, right? Because you do have to be somewhat flexible to try to like maneuver through life, figuring out yourself, fine-tuning what works. We're all kind of going through that process, right? But I think what's happening, Gem, is you have someone in your life where they have like a complete lack of boundaries. And what they do is they go into environments and they start, or going around people, and they just start like being that people. And so do you know what I'm saying? Like they almost even have categories of people that they're around, and they don't generally like blending these different groups of people that they spend time with. It's because it's also a reflection of the lack of identity that they have. So what they do is And it's also a bit of part of their manipulation is what they do is they keep everyone separate, okay? Because they're acting a different way around each person or each group. And so that's why they don't like the realities to blend, because you might even be able to see that with this person, Taurus, maybe they come to you and they say negative things about someone in the family. This can be anywhere, at work, family, this could be a lover. This is where you have to start realizing like the triangulation people use and picking up on people's emotions, because that's why I'm saying that, because what's coming out next is the priestess, well-controlled emotion. This is like high intuition and picking up on things vibrationally. So what I want to say, Taurus, is that, right, like we've also got the temperance card. You maybe being the person that's maybe the peacemaker, you want a very calm life, you don't want drama, and maybe this is the drama coming into you, okay? That's why I feel like Spirit's wanting to maybe talk about it, is because maybe this is something that you're something feels off, you know? You're picking up on something intuitively and you're trying to get balanced about it, like trying to understand it, because maybe this is someone that has been in your life for a long time. Maybe this is someone that you really care about. And so you're trying to like piece together two different realities that you're picking up on. And it's because this person might in some way be able to, right? The magician or the trickery is that they are able to kind of like, I'm going to switch these up. Okay. Just so that this is clear. I want to say, Taurus, this is the person that you're dealing with, and then this is your side of the energy, that you are picking up on something intuitively and trying to, right, become calm and balanced about it, piecing together these two realities. So what this person does, like I said, part of their manipulation is that they could be mirroring things about you that seem very empathetic. They seem very good. They like pick up on that in you, and they're mirroring that good side of you. But you'll be able to see that on the other side of things, they also talk very negatively about other people. They might project a lot of shame, guilt, and fear. And that's your indicator right there. Like, what are they saying about other people? Because I'll tell you, haven't you guys ever had that where you're around a person and you hear them talk negatively about someone else, and maybe you start to get caught up in it, and in a way you start even thinking like, wait, does that person say those things about me? Yes, that is triangulation. That is the manipulation. It's someone that goes around, and this is the toxicity of them, because they're at such a low vibration, that shame, guilt, and fear, that what they do, that's how they usually operate. But like I said, they have this kind of shape-shifting and flexibility to where they can go around different environments and different people, and it's kind of like that people pleasing. They mirror other people so that they are accepted and liked, but there's not a lot going on underneath the surface. Does that make sense? So let me pull out the archetype cards, just get a couple to kind of clarify this a little bit more. See what else we can get here. Taurus. And bear with me for a bit, because these do take just a second to pop out. So fast forward if you guys need to. Okay, Taurus. There we go. Yeah. This is perfect. So we've got the orphan card, which this has popped out. I think this is the second time. This person, in some way, shape, or form feels like, okay, this is what happened. They didn't get the love and nourishment that they needed growing up from their parents, okay? Straight up. So what happened is it's because they didn't get that emotional developing and maturity, and experience that from their parents. That's what's passed down generation to generation. And so the orphan, for some of you could straight up be dealing with someone who is an orphan or grew up that way. It doesn't have to be, though. This can also be an archetype, because sometimes you can even be raised with parents and you didn't get the emotional kind of like developing that you needed to in a healthy way. And so with that is going to create, right? I always talk about the cellular structure, and if it's pretty much just full of shame, guilt, and fear, which is a lack of energy, it's a lack of photons of light, then that person will be, like I was talking about, kind of like an empty vessel. It's like they don't have emotional responses. So the only way that they know how to operate and deal with relationships is by just being who other people want them and expect them to be. In fact, do you know what I'm getting to, Taurus? This even, because like I said, it doesn't even have to be an orphan. It was just like a child. Maybe this is even a golden child that landed in the family somewhere, and maybe they're kind of a bully, right? They're a manipulator. They might be a little bit of like cold and cruel. It's because they lack that empathy. They lack that emotional response. And so what happens is what I think happened is when they grew up, they had there was probably an empath that landed in the family, in the child dynamic, maybe, if there were siblings. And so that's why I'm saying this doesn't have to straight up be an orphan. It can just be someone who was abandoned in some way because maybe they didn't get enough attention when other children were born into the family. So they felt neglected in some way, shape, or form. Like, right, they're reaching for that heart connection, the reaching, but they're not receiving it. So that's what I feel like is constantly they're in this cycle of chasing after this love, and they have no idea. That's how far down this psychological development goes. It's all the way to that core of them. That's why when spiritual people talk about, that's why when spiritual people talk about the inner child, healing the inner wounds, that's what it is. It's just filling that up with light and healing it. What was I talking about? This is hilarious. Okay. Taurus, do you know how I kept saying the empty vessel? And look at how you've got the empty room. Okay. What's happening, and I am going to put this on your side because what happens is I think that you guys are maybe being pushed. There's like this emptiness that comes into your life because the empty room can be all about starting from scratch. And to put it in a way that you guys will be able to picture, sometimes it can be where you move to a new house, right? And it can seem kind of overwhelming because you're like, holy freaking crap, I have to fill all this up with furniture and things, right? But sometimes that can seem daunting, or it can be exciting, right? Depending on your perspective and how much you run from it. But as you guys see, like when you move into a new house, you don't just freak out and lay on the ground and think, oh my gosh, I have to fill this all up. No, you start maybe envisioning and picturing what you can fill your life up with. So to take it in that kind of symbolic way, Taurus, I think what's happening is you may be being pushed to a new beginning and maybe being pushed to focus on your healing process, and maybe that feels almost uncomfortable to your whole nervous system. Your nervous system isn't used to there not being trauma, stress, and chaos in your life. So maybe what happens is you feel like this weird emptiness when there's nothing going on, when there's like complete stillness. So you almost go out in a way because of your own kind of like vibrational and chemical structure inside of you. You almost go out to seek relationships, and then that's when you pick up on this type of energy. So like I said, this could be someone you already know. It could be someone new coming in, but this is the type of energy that happens when you are pushing against this, when you're trying to avoid the calm. Do you know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that for all of you. Maybe you legit like your peace and calm, and maybe you're trying to legit put boundaries up. Maybe you guys are in that process right now where you're like, like you're finally getting to that point of being done with the drama. So maybe that King of Swords is all about boundaries. That's that whole archetype of energy with that. So let me pull out some tarot cards. Let's see if we can get just a little bit more clarification here, okay? Okay, Taurus. Look at that on the bottom. Four of Swords, peace of mind. I love it. This is why I love this stuff. Yeah, okay. And it's funny because Gemini just got this too. So we've got the Hierophant coming out. this is where I think that you're right, having to be even really disciplined about your boundaries and maybe even disciplined about what you need to do to heal. Okay, let me see what else comes out. Oh, yeah. Look at how you've got it again. There's the King of Swords for a second time. Taurus, do you know what the entanglement is? That's why it's coming out for a second time, because maybe there's a part of you that you unconsciously look to save people, and this is almost where you need to kind of take on that energy yourself of being a bit cold and detached emotionally and be a little selfish, which is uncomfortable, you know, like people view selfishness as a horrible thing. There's two different types of selfishness. There's the one where you're taking care of your own needs and doing what's best for yourself, which is healthy. And then there's the other kind where you're expecting everyone to fill your needs to make you happy. Two different types of selfishness. But oh, Taurus, look what's happening. So some of you might be still, right, like healing from a broken heart. And this could be from some type of rejection, and maybe that's the entanglement, Taurus, is maybe this is also how you felt in your life, is that you didn't get like the emotional nourishment that you needed, and this is where you do have to do it for yourself. It's just how it goes. I know how painful it can be, and that's just a part of the healing process. But some of you also, that Three of Swords can also be about health issues. So some of you might be trying to heal emotionally and physically. And they're both correlated. As you guys know, like I always talk about, like what the chakras are and what they actually are in a scientific, like, or a biological way. So say for instance, you guys are dealing with self-esteem stuff. You might have like a leaky gut, you know, leaky intestines, where that's also going to reflect into your outside reality, that you have a lack of boundaries because your inside boundaries and barriers are broken. So some of you might need to maybe focus on that, where you're having to really take a look at healing yourself from the inside out, you know, like, and so maybe that's a part of the thing that you're still kind of running from a bit, because these people could be coming in as distractions from that process. You know what I'm saying? So let me see what else pops in. Okay, yeah. Perfect. So we've got the Moon card. This is all about subconscious programming, and it's all about like a little bit of an illusion. So it makes sense to me because Taurus, I think that you are under this type of like subconscious pattern, the way you were raised, and it makes you view life in this really cloudy type of way. Do you know what I'm saying? It's from this shame, guilt, and fear filter, or from a victim type of filter. It's a chemical filter in your body, and that's why reality can seem a little clouded. And that makes sense to me because, especially if you guys are dealing with some type of pain or brokenheartedness, it can completely skew reality, like the realness, the what really is going on. And so that's what I feel like you guys are coming out of. You're trying to heal that part of yourself so that you can start enjoying life again, so that you can heal and that you can have like the illumination of the moon, you know, coming in to illuminate the darkness. That's what I feel like you guys might be going through. So let me pull out one more card. One more card for Taurus. There it is. Taurus. You have got the last card. Look at that. So this is perfect. This is the 10 of Wands. 10 is a close of a chapter, releasing a burden. And this, Taurus, has been a long journey for you. A long, hard fought journey. So I understand where some of you are probably just burnt out. But here's the good news. 10, it's the close of a chapter. And I'm telling you guys, the process to this coming to a close is going to be this, the Hierophant, being selfish, being disciplined about taking care of yourself. What is best for you right now, Taurus? That's what you really need to take a look at. So for some of you, the other thing that I wanted to talk about is that this could be someone reaching back out to you, because that King of Swords, that can be communication. So that's the one thing I wanted to say, is this person might be reaching out to you, because I talk about 'tis Mercury retrograde, it is Hoover season. People coming back from the past, getting energy supplies, all that good stuff. So Taurus, I'm going to leave this there. I'm going to dive into that further in the extended. If you guys want to join me over there, feel free. Go down below, click on the Vimeo link, and I will see you on the other side. But Taurus, if this is where we leave things, I'm sending you guys so much love, wishing you all the very best, and I will see you in your next reading. Take care.